What's up, my beautiful people? It's your boy, Mr. Getting It Done. Welcome back to the channel. We are in hurricane season, Florida. It's muggy as you can see, but we out here. I got my people in the back, my statues. We in the back just cooling. I don't know if you can see the sky. It's a little gloomy, but welcome back to the channel, my people. Today we're going to talk about something that is really not talked about often, and with this being a credit channel, I want individuals to understand how your FICO score is made up, and I also want to break that down into points so that way it's easily digestible for comprehension purposes, right? Some of us are visual learners, some of us learn certain ways, so when we talk about the FICO score, or the range from 300 to 850, like, some people may not be able to connect with that, right? So I'm gonna break it down into points so that way you can see that how certain parts of your score are affected when you make a late payment, when you overutilize your credit cards, etc., right? So if you put it into points, you wonder why your score goes down X amount of points if you make a late payment, or if you use your credit card over a certain percentage, your score is going to drop a certain amount of points. This will put that into perspective for you, so that way you can have a better understanding of how your score works, so that you can try to circumvent that and keep keep a high credit score. So let's jump right into, my people. I got my board here, so see if y'all can see this, right? So when we talk about the FICO score, should be good. It says FICO up here. So when we talk about the FICO score, right, we're talking about it's from 300 to 850. Okay, so your FICO score, your FICO 8 model, right, any of the FICO models, they're pretty much 300 to 850, right? That's the score range. Okay, so in between that, right, so if we take 850 minus 300, in between that is the meat and potatoes, which is 550. So your FICO score, your 3-digit score, your Experian, your TransUnion, your Equifax, that 3-digit score that you see, not on Credit Karma, that's a Vantage 3.0 score. A Vantage 3.0 scoring model. We're talking about the FICO model. For the FICO model, you have 550 points, okay, that make up your credit score. That's divided between the pie chart, right? And the pie chart, if you go on Google and you Google credit pie chart, you'll see they have an example there, and then they have it broken down 35%, 30%, 15%, 10, 10, so on and so forth, right? So when we talk about the pie chart is made up of 550 points. So you can maximize your credit score by 550 points. Let's talk about how you drop the ball with those points, okay? So 35% of your credit score is your payment history, which equates to 192.5 points. Okay, that's the biggest chunk of your credit score. So think about that payment history. If you make a late payment, 192.5 points are at risk potentially, right? That's astronomical. That right there should tell you, like, I can never make a late payment, because that's going to hurt my score tremendously. That's crazy, right? So your payment history is absolutely imperative that you keep that at 100% in the green in order to maximize and get the whole 192.5 points. You know what I'm saying? So 30% of your credit score is utilization, is how you use your credit card. The more you use your credit card, the more of the limit that you use, the lower you can lower your score, right? If you carry that over, right? And if you, so every credit card has a minimum payment due date, and then it also has a statement date, right? So go back and watch my video. I'll post it up here for you. On how to pay your credit card correctly. I break those 2 dates down. But on your credit card, you have those those 2 dates. And those 2 dates are extremely important, because it tells you when you got to pay your credit card by, and when they're going to report that information out to the credit bureaus, right? So 30%, your utilization is 165 points. That's number 2. First is your payment history at 192.5, and then it's your utilization. So if you overextend yourself, if you use more of your credit if you use more of your credit limit and you do not pay it back in full and you carry it over, you are at risk of losing up to 165 points. Let that sink in. So that's why it's extremely important to be strategic when you use your credit card, and then definitely pay it back in full every single month. Do not carry over a balance, if at all possible, right? So 15% is your length or your history, right? So that equates to 82.5 points. So I feel like a lot of people drop the ball here because they don't think that the length is important. So whenever it comes to your credit profile, length is extremely important. You have to have accounts on there for an extended period of time, so that way banks, when they look at your credit profile and they're trying to extend credit to you, they can see that this individual has 3 or 4 accounts and they've been able to manage them over 5, 8, 10 years, right? So now you look like a more now you're in a position, right? You look like a more responsible borrower, right? Because you're paying your bills on time, and you've done that over an extended period of time. So now the bank is more confident with lending you money because they know you're gonna pay them back. So 82.5 points is attributed to the length of your history. And you could, like, let's say for example, most people, you know, if they have accounts open for like 5 or 4 years, right, they'll have an average age of about 3 years or so. But if you want to get your average age up, and this is a strategy that we use to get business funding, is you add an authorized user trade line that has 20, 30 years on it. That's going to increase your average age to put you at that sweet spot where you need to be at to maximize on the business funding side, which is about 4.5 to 4.5 to 5 years of average age you want to have on your credit report whenever you go for business funding, right? So that's a whole different video, a whole different topic. But that just goes to show you that age is important as well, and I feel like a lot of people drop the ball on that. Now, whenever you add a new account, your average age goes down. Okay, so if you like to get new cars every year or two, or you know, you're over there adding 2 or 3 credit cards every year, right? Every time you add a credit card, every time you add a trade line, a car, a loan, an auto loan, a mortgage, a student loan, whatever, right? Whenever you add a trade line, your average age is going to go down. So now you got to continue to, now you got to pretty much start, not from scratch, but you're going to be starting from a lower tier now. You got to get back up to where you were at. So if your average age was 3 years, and now you're adding all these new trade lines, that 3 years is going to go down, you know, to 2 years, 1 year, etc. So now you got to build that back up. And the only way that you can build that back up is if those new accounts have to age out. Okay, or like I said, you can do the shortcut and add an authorized user trade line that already has a bunch of age on there to help increase that average age. So 82.5 points, man, that's not pennies. 82.5 points is attributed to the length of your history. So it's very important that every account that you open, keep it open its entire length, right? Do not pay your car payment off early. Most people make this mistake and then wonder why their credit score goes down. If you took out a 5-year auto loan and you paid it in a year or two, and you thought you were doing yourself a solid, and your credit score went down, and you're like, bro, what's going on here? It's because you affected the age on that account. When that account hit your credit report initially, it hit it with the expiration date of 5 years, the payoff date, and you altered that by paying it off in a year. So now the algorithm has penalized you and not rewarded you. Let that sink in, man. Okay, so 10% is new credit. Right, I was just talking about that, and I spent some time on that specifically because it is important. You're right. So new credit is 55 points. 55 points. You know what I'm saying? That's at jeopardy if you continue to add new credit. So, you know, you should only be applying for credit when necessary. If you have multiple inquiries, multiple new accounts, banks are going to see that as a higher risk because you just got all these new accounts. And if you continue applying, they're going to see that and be like, hold on, okay, let's tell this person to come back in like a year or so we can see how they treated these new accounts that they got, right? So 55 points is at risk for new accounts, okay? And then lastly, we have your inquiries, right, which I just touched on. So credit inquiries is another 55%, okay? So, 55 points, 55 points. So credit inquiries, you have to minimize your credit inquiries, right? So you're at risk of losing 55 points if you have excessive inquiries. And those of you that go to dealerships and let them run your credit report, through 10 or 15 banks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because when you leave that dealer with 15 inquiries, your score tanked maybe 30, 40, 50 points because of all those inquiries, man. So those inquiries not only stay on your credit report for up to 2 years if you don't run the play and know how to remove them, but now when you go apply for another another product, let's say a credit card or not an auto loan, but like a credit card or a loan, they're gonna see 15 inquiries and they're gonna be like, yo, this dude's credit thirsty. Now don't get me wrong, a lot of those inquiries I have like financial, Honda, this, that, and they'll know like, okay, these are like car inquiries they were probably shopping around, but a lot of banks don't have that in their title. So those can be, let's say you apply for a credit card, that credit card company will look at all those inquiries. Let's say 5 of them have like Ford Financial, Honda Financial, and they're like, okay, these are auto related, but the other ones don't. Let's say it's Citizens Bank, Truist, whatever, Key Bank, right? Let's say like it just says that and nothing about a dealer or auto loan. Then now the bank's gonna look at that like, my man or my girl's been applying for all this credit. Let's let's shut that down. So the more inquiries that you have on your credit profile, the higher chance of you getting denied. So it's very important to limit your inquiries. And then in my mentorship program, I teach my mentees on how to run the play and get those removed, so that way you can go out and be able to leverage your credit profile to get maximum funding, again, on the business side if you were looking to do that. And you can also do it for personal funding as well, but we like business funding over personal, because your business does not report to your personal. Okay, that's a whole nother video, but like business credit is extremely powerful. It can open up doors and it can allow you to fire your current employer and become your own boss. So there it is, my people. I digress. That's your FICO score broken down. I apologize if it's cut off at the top, but as you can clearly see, it says FICO. But those are some of the I wanted to touch on that, because most individuals like myself, I learned a different way. So if I put your FICO score into points, then it makes more sense. So if I say, hey, if you use your credit card, if you use 20% of your credit card, you're at risk of losing 30% of your credit score. Most people won't catch that, right? Not everybody's a mathematician or a math whiz, but if I tell you, hey, you use 30% or more on your credit card, you can lose up to 192 points, then that's going to make a light bulb go off. You're going to be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? And it's really that serious. So, treat your credit extremely, extremely, extremely important, right? Treat it like it's gold, right? Because credit's the new currency. Credit is king. Okay, cash reigns supreme in certain areas when you're doing certain deals and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, credit is everything. They check your credit for auto insurance, for a mortgage, for a car loan, for a credit card, for an apartment if you're looking to rent, right? They're doing credit checks for like everything now. So credit is not going anywhere. And the fact that a lot of us grew up in the hood and we're ignorant to it, and we think like, we gotta go out here and get this bag. It's like, yo, let's go out here and get this credit. Let's go out here and build. Let's go out here and get our families set up, so that way we have opportunities to take advantage of together. Like, think about this, and then I'll end this video because it's pretty long. So how long would it take you to save $50,000? Okay, let's say you wanted to buy that dream home. How long would it take you at your current position right now to save $50,000? And let that sink in. Let's use 5 years as an example. That's being generous. So it's going to take me 5 years to save $50,000, when I can get $50,000 in 15 minutes if I put my credit profile, if I structure it properly, and if I put myself in position. I can go out and get $50,000 in less than 15 minutes, right? We just talked about it taking you 5 years to save it. I can get it in 15 minutes if my credit's right. That's how powerful credit is. So now I went out and I got the $50,000 from the bank, right? That's the bank's money, right? And if I got it in the form of credit card, there's no biggie. I'll take the credit card or credit cards, right, with the 50K limit, and I'll go ahead and I'll liquidate that, and I'll take that cash to go ahead and get my home or whatever it is that I'm trying to do, right? So there's certain ways that you can leverage your credit to help knock off years of saving. right? That's old school mentality. That's hamster wheel mentality. That's the mentality that's going to keep you poor. You putting money in the shoebox and keeping it in your closet, that money is losing value. It's fiat currency. So when you go ahead and you pass it down to your kids, it's worth, it's worth nothing. Cash is worth nothing, right? It's only worth the paper that is printed on, which is about 4 cents. Credit is everything, man. So if you got anything out of this, man, just understand that credit is extremely important, and it's going to continue to be important in the future. So there it is, my people. Thank you for stopping by the channel. I know this video was long. If you stayed to the end, you're amazing, and I love you for that. Smash the like button for the smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And then if you have any questions, comments, put it in the comment section below, and I'll make a video addressing that, so that way I can continue to help give you guys the sauce and give you guys the information that's going to allow you to get to the next level, right? Let's grow together, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.